This is just a warm-up, guys, and we're going to start with what I call giddy-up grips. So giddy-up grips is thumbs to forefingers to pull your thumbs out. Like we're riding a horse. I don't actually know if they're riding a horse, but I'm guessing this is how you hold a horse's reins. Cool. Okay, so thumbs, forefingers, thumbs out. Okay. So we're going to just go to the system. Plant my feet, hip escape 1, hip escape 2, feet on the hip. Now, the part that makes this work really well is that I'm trying to pull my opponent's hands into my hips and try to flare my knees. So I get a little bit of like get negative. The downfall that I see is like their neck is open, exposed for the choke. But if I let go of their hands, then they get the posture right. So what we want to do is we want to keep the control. So I try and make them like they're holding my belt, flare my knees. And this is a little bit of a drill. So when I start teaching the spider guard, this is a drill that we kind of warm up with. So it's pretty much, it goes bicep, bicep, hip, head. Bicep, bicep, hip, head. Bicep, bicep, hip, head. So we're kind of just getting used to the angles, and I'm putting the arm in. So, you know, I'm putting each arm across the body. So back in, bicep, bicep, hip, head. Bicep, bicep, hip, head. So it's what my feet are doing. Okay? So bicep, bicep, hip, head. Kick back. Yeah. Bicep, bicep, hip, head. We're not closing it up. We're just getting used to that motion of being able to swing our legs to get to the position. So this would be the standard start position that we initiate from, and we'll be going to foot in bicep and foot on the hip. And this would kind of be the start of the omoplata, the circle triangle series. So start here, or you can do the whole system. So giddy up grip, thumb, forefingers, 1, 2, there. Bicep, bicep, hip, head, bicep, bicep, hip, head, bicep, bicep, hip, head. Just warm up with that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now. Okay. Really important. Yeah, that when we're doing this, I want to manage the distance for my partner, and it's one of the things I see when people shoot the triangle, they can't quite get finish the triangle because the distance is incorrect or that angle is slightly off. So giddy up grip, 1, 2, from here, bicep, bicep, hip, head. Sorry, so hip, head. Now, the reason why my foot's still here is that if Eli does try to stack me up, I've got the ability to keep the pressure. Number 2, to cut the angle, we say CTA, to cut the angle is I kick off that, and that allows me to spin to the triangle. Where if my foot's open, I'll lose that little bit of contact that's harder for me to manipulate with my partner. Secondly, because my foot's on the bicep, it allows me, and this is one of the parts that I like to finish the triangle is, instead of trying to throw my foot up and creating a space where I lose control of the inside position, is it allows me to raise my hips to cinch it up. Right. So number 1 is I'm in the position, I'm feeling pretty good about this, so I kick the hip. So what I'm doing is I'll slide so my back sits on the ground, don't roll the shoulders. Number 2, keep contact, raise your hips, squeeze your knees, and the triangle's pretty much on. Now here's your arm bar, from the arm bar, lock it up, and then you're okay, yeah. Then slowly put your foot on the ground, and as you put your foot on the ground, the triangle will come on. So you should be pretty much finishing the triangle while they're almost like in the air, while my hips are in the air before I sit on the ground. I'll find that if don't have the hip contact, they can posture up, they can drive forward, and they can manipulate the space a little bit better than I can. Like, so for argument's sake, like if I'm here, and I'll try and do it like this, they're going to run the corner, they're going to stack me up. Where here, at least I've got some control to be able to raise, and like, the arm bar's a legitimate arm bar for me. Kick, make sure, see what's the difference when they kick? They go kick and they actually lose control because my shoulder's up. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that when I'm kicking, my back's on the ground. So kick, back's on the ground, and I can't tension this up super tight. Okay, don't take your foot off the hip, raise your hips. Lock it up. I do like to raise this toe, so it kind of rocks if it's down. Sometimes I can break my own foot by having the like ankle on myself. Toes up, and that'll make a really nice cinch point as well. Yeah, let's try the last one. yeah. We're playing around with it. Oh, thank you. Okay. So, just before, and this is, it's so important against the bigger opponents, right? So I've done the bob kick, or I'm from here and I'm here, right? So I've got this position, right? What I see people do is when they kick, they kind of turn onto their side, and they're just going to drive their head forward, compress me, and and they're going to run the guard. This is horrible for me. Like this is, like your intercostals, their forearms on the intercostals get compressed, and I don't have enough what I call core power to kick out of it. Like even if I'm strong here, I'm just like it's horrible. So it's really important that when I'm here, I'm kind of rolling this way, which now if G drives into me, I've got this ability to use my core instead of on the side. So the part that I see issues with is if I tip my knee out, right, it's better for G because it rotates my hips around. That's the biggest thing. Where if I kick my knee to the ceiling, it actually winds the choke on. So if I go here, there's no choke because the gap's too big. Even though this is an easy way to move. But if I'm here and I wind, it actually pretty much winds the choke on. So once I'm here and I raise my hips, the choke's pretty much on straight away, right? So I really want you guys to focus on this. And if you have to, kick with your hamstring to turn the body that driving forward, and this will put you in the position from here. I do like the wrist lock from here, I'm not gonna lie. Like if they're bigger and strong, like I'll jam their arm in on wrist lock, it's one of my favorites. But just really try and focus that knee that's on the hip is ceiling, and you're not rotating your shoulders, try and keep nice and straight. And this will make your core, because your spine's still aligned with your hips and knees really strong, versus like if I'm kicking here, everything's kind of off the side, and you find out it's really hard to lift my hips from here as well. Just try it again, guys. 1, 2, 3. How'd that feel? There's limitations to some of our aspects that we do, or our techniques that we do. For argument's sake, like there's a couple of the bigger guys in the gym that will throw themselves into the triangle to bait you to do it so that they can pass the guard, because they know that there's more chance of them passing the guard instead of you locking up the triangle. The second token is there's some people with really skinny necks, and the same people you just can't close the space up on because their neck's so skinny, like you're squeezing, but they're like, excuse my French, pencil necks. So you just can't close that gap up, and you're squeezing, you're like, come on, and they're like, yeah, I'm okay, so there is always like an exception to the rule or exceptions to the rule. So we want to have options as far as, look, I'm going for the triangle, I'm going for the triangle and I acknowledge I'm not going to get it, and then we're going to go to, I had the triangle and I'm not going to get it. And these are the two kind of options that we play. We're going to go to the first one, which is slightly different. I'll just grab earlier, please. I left it in my car. So, we'll run the same setup system here, and before I have a chance to close the gap up, Elliot uses the right hand to grab the back of my collar at the front and stacks me up. So we're getting to this position which is like I don't have the triangle. Okay, as long as everyone understands I don't have the triangle. So this is the issue, because this knee is what's stacking me up. But it's also the only thing that's saving me from having my guard passed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick my leg off the head, I'm going to go to a cylinder, and I'm going to try and roll, okay? So what I do is I apply pressure, they're going to go like, aha, kick off head, and what I do is I get the arm, try and roll. I'm not in the triangle anymore, but I have the ability to start to come up and attack and things like that as well. So this has to be done relatively fast. The reason why this works really well is because they're driving into me and I'm pushing or rolling the way that they're driving. So I'm kind of using their force, but I've got to get my legs straight. So I can't hang out, this has to be done pretty much with a lot of gusto and straight away. If you're not agile, right, so if you're here, so kick, my legs straight, and I roll. And if you got pinned, oh man, their weight's on me and they're pinned, first thing I do is I just build up, come back. I've got this ability to build up and come back. I'm still in the game. if you get to the position where they're holding my head and we get caught in this position, so I've tried to roll and they've blocked me out. One of the things I don't want to do is I don't want to give back exposure. So what I remember that is I acknowledge that they're passing my guard, so I'll do what I can to deny. So if I roll this way, away, I'm kind of giving up my back. And of course they're in the position to take the collar choke, it's better for them and worse for me. So the way I like to do is I like to scissor my legs, switch my legs as hard and fast as I possibly can. I don't care whether they have hold again, it's just I'll need to rotate my hips the opposite way. So I like to rotate, switch my hips as hard as I can and just come back through to at least try and recover my guard. And as long as my knees are to my chest, I'm still in the game. The frame's on the inside, hip escape, to start to look to recover your guard. So the first one's a roll through. Can I go here for this check? And this is possibly one of the people I wouldn't look at doing a triangle on, just so you know. So we're here, and I'm like, man, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick my leg, and they're going to go no, and so they're going to start to pass the guard. So they drive forward past the guard. So what I'm saying is I keep this grip, I try and turn. As I try and turn, they can't, so I build up. As I build up, it gives me the option to come back. So what I'm doing is by building up, it's plant my feet, lift my hips as high as I can to build up. And that gives me the ability to start to roll. Now, if I'm like, man, he's got so much weight on me, I come down, whatever I do, I don't roll this way. Foot on the ground, and front back inside, just start to attack. Like I've still got the arm, so I can start to counter attack. So G will probably do what G does. As long as my knees are in front, I've got that ability to start to. I'm in the game, you know what I mean? Like I'm not, I just don't want to be underneath the big, heavy person. So this is, I'll go solo. So when you're getting stacked, no more the build up, right? And then try and roll back onto your shoulders. If you can't build up, right, what you do is drop your hips and come back under. If you can, switch your hips. So from here, when you switch your hips, that's how you start to build up. So you're here. So you're here, getting stacked. Have the arm, build up, kick, frame, build up, right? If you can't build up, leg comes in, frame, and play the game. Just don't let them go chest to chest on you. You've got to get your knees on the inside. 1, 2, 3. Nice and light, let's go. So pass the guard, build up, let's see how you go with this, guys. Okay. Understanding, shot the triangle, and they're, like they're quite good at this. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to go to what we call lasso. Right, so lift, I'm going to lasso my foot to the inside. So from here, trying to get the triangle, can't do it, lift, lasso my foot to the inside. Right, I've still got the controls. Okay. Beautiful thing about the lasso is I can now manipulate and start to tip. Okay, so the most common thing is what they do. Hey, either we fall over, they drive back in. Thank you. And they come back into the triangle. Right, so from here, hand goes under, I shoot the triangle from here. If I'm having trouble, right, okay, hands through, foot goes over. Okay, this is the hardest part. Just push your foot onto the hip, kick, and start to kick your partner. Right, kick off balance. Back in. So 1, 2, 3, kick, lasso, back in. Let's have a shot up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And it's also not your function comes on, don't get swept, so also you bounce back up. Yeah, back in the triangle. Back in the game. We're going to go more towards a sweepy game instead of the finishing game. Main reason being is they've got quite a strong posture. So let's go Elliot in my guard, please. Same deal again. So we start exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, but this time foot and bicep, and start 3. The part that on this one is they've got good balance from here. So it's quite hard for me to finish it. Right? So what I want to do is I bring my knee in to take the balance over, and now I can start the trick. Man, they're like, man, this guy's got good balance. Shoot your leg over, and here's your triangle. So I'm either going to get a really clean sweep, but the reason why the sweep fails is because I'm at extension and they can counterbalance. But when I bring my knee in, like it's in my favour. So I kind of bring it in and switch it out, foot on the hip. Now this is really easy. So this is a much easier triangle than a back. Very hard for them to stack me up. Very easy for me. And like I said, this is a small part. I'm on my side. Small hip escape and the choke comes on. So just that tiny hip escape will cinch the choke up super tight. And again, same deal again, guys. Giddy up grip. 1, 2, 3. Foot and bicep. I do stretch them out first. That gives me the space to move. I do like to bring my foot in, and it's more of a heel concept. Look, I can be nasty, drive my heel through the bicep as well if you want to. I do. If, you know, if we're competing. Yep. Okay. So shoot. Trap the head. Turn your body. And dead. That's it. Yeah, it's a super tight triangle. Chris, I've got this. So, giddy up grip. 1, 2, foot in bicep, and this is like they're not going to fall. And this is one of the things I see people like they're trying to push it, bring your knee in. And when you bring your knee in, now you've got this really nice ability. Kick your foot over, they come up like I'll come back up. Cool. Cinch it up from here. Now remember, just make sure your foot's on the ground. Hip escape. Make sure your back's on the ground. So here, small hip escape to cinch it up. Just that tiny little hip escape. Foot on the ground, and that would close it right up. Okay. Foot and bicep sweep to triangle. 1, 2, 3. Pleasure. How's that? Tight?
Tight, yeah.
Yeah, that little adjustment at the end.